Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So one of the things I want to talk about is going to be, managing financial stress, right? Because for most of us, some level of financial stress is going to be unavoidable. You're always going to have them bills to pay, worrying about your job to keep, the occasional emergency expense that you might have to deal with. But, one of the things that really matters is how you're going to cope with that stress, right? So, with a little forethought and a lot of, looking inside. Even the most anxious consumer can start to gain a sense of control over their financial and, more importantly, mental health. Following these tips can go a long way towards putting you back in the driver's seat, right? We're going to go over 6 different things. First thing I want to talk about is facing the music. Because there's a recent survey done that showed that more than 50% of Americans don't know their bank account balance. What was their reason? They're too scared to look. The first step to managing, your financial stress is going to be, take a look at your actual situation, right? Be honest with yourself. Make a list of every aspect of your financial life that's stressing you out. Are you scared of all the credit card debt you racked up? Worried about your small emergency fund? Maybe it won't keep you afloat if you lose your job? Do you feel ashamed of not having a budget? Well, start by organizing your financial accounts. Make sure you've got online accounts for each bank, for each investment account, each credit card account. Set up alerts for due dates so you don't miss a payment. Another thing you want to do is check your credit report for free online, right? Your credit report will show all your current and active credit card accounts, just in case you forgot any, right? Then, you can set up a time to go over each account. If you have multiple bank accounts, consider consolidating them, right? Look for any recurring fees, subscriptions you no longer use, fraudulent charges, so many different things. By shining a light on all the financial problems you're scared to face, you'll probably realize something important. None of these issues are scary as they seem, and you're more capable of dealing with each and every one of them than you might think you are. So, the next thing we want to talk about, you've heard it 1,000 times before, you're going to keep hearing it: create a budget. Once you've gone over every account, take some time to track your expenses and create a budget. Using a budget will help you identify leaks in your spending where you could cut back. The act of budgeting and tracking your expenses might seem like a punishment for your past spending mistakes, but think of it as a road to salvation. If your main goal is to manage your financial stress, knowing where your dollars are going, it matters. Being able to direct your money towards savings or debt payoff with a budget will ultimately lead you to a healthier financial and emotional place. If you've never budgeted before, don't get discouraged if you overspend in a few categories at first. You know, budgeting, it's kind of like cooking, right? Just because you don't follow the recipe perfectly doesn't mean the meal's not going to taste good. Keep tweaking it until you find a happy medium. The next thing that we want to do is going to be breaking down your tasks, right? When you're financially drowning, it can seem impossible to find, a life raft, right? Instead of, floundering aimlessly, it's time to pick a direction and start swimming. Get a notebook or computer and write down all the tasks that will help you feel better. Try to break them down into manageable assignments. For instance, instead of writing down, consider taking out a personal loan, write down, complete a personal loan application with 3 companies. The goal is to make the task less overwhelming, helping you feel more motivated to tackle them. Once you have everything written down, assign each task for a certain day. Allocate more time per task than you think it will take. That way, just in case you run into any problems, right? You want to be able to have the time to take care of them. Because if you do hit a snag, just take a breath and brainstorm some possible solutions. Try to finish each task before starting a new one so you don't get distracted. Moving on to the next thing to talk about, it's going to be your feelings. Because, you know, when you're feeling stressed, it's easy to soothe yourself with food, alcohol, maybe binge watching your favorite TV show on Netflix or Hulu or whatever you watch, right? And while it's important to relax, make sure you're not using an unhealthy coping strategy to avoid processing your emotions. Take some time to sit with your feelings, as hard as they may be. Go for a walk, sit on the porch, write in a journal, something. Feeling your feelings doesn't mean wallowing in despair or sadness. It just means acknowledging what you're feeling in an honest way. Recognizing, your feelings will also help you avoid using retail therapy, right? Which is crucial if you're on a budget, trying to pay off your debt or living paycheck to paycheck, right? So from that, I also want to add on, ask for help, right? If debt is your main source of stress, the first step could be to contact your lenders and bill providers and ask how to reduce your monthly payments. Right? Start by calling your cell phone company, car insurance, internet, cable service providers, and ask if there's any special discounts or rates you qualify for. Make a list of all your lenders and contact each of them to see if there's a deferment or forbearance program. With COVID 19 going on, many lenders have been more understanding towards borrowers experiencing financial distress. Before signing up for a forbearance program, make sure you understand how interest will accrue during that time and if there's any special fees. For example, most mortgage lenders will let you defer payments for a few months, but you'll owe the full amount once the deferment period is over. This could come as a huge shock if you don't plan ahead. If you're carrying a balance on any credit cards, contact each company and ask them for a lower interest rate. Remind them you've been a reliable and loyal cardholder. If a company says no, set a reminder on your phone to ask them again in a few months. And one of the last things to talk about, which can't really be stressed enough, is taking care of your mental health. So there was a survey done like 2 years ago, right? That says 72% of respondents say that their mental health problems worsened their financial situation. Now, if this describes you, consider talking to a licensed mental health expert as a first step to developing a healthier relationship with your finances, right? You can use resources, say like the Open Path Collective, where therapists only charge between $30-$60 for each session. There's the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, also has a list of community clinics that are going to provide these low-cost services. If you already have a therapist in mind, ask them if they offer a sliding scale payment system. Many universities also offer therapy on a discounted or sliding scale. Contact a local psychology department, and if they accept outside clients, Psychology Today has a therapist finder tool that lets you filter by price. Depending on your particular healthcare policy, your insurance provider may also cover some sessions. Ask your HR department if your company has an employer assistance program that includes mental health counseling. So I really hope you guys understand that there is a lot of stress that comes with finances, but it doesn't have to stress you out, right? Trying to learn how to deal with the financial issues, the mental health issues, and come to terms with everything is really, it really needs to be something you take care of and don't let it get out of hand. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're not subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and smash that like button. Until I see you guys in the next video, y'all be safe.